What's going on, guys? Budget Competitor here, and I'm here with the fourth place finisher at tonight's Friday Night Locals, Mr. Logan Stillman. What'd you play tonight?
Thunder Dragon.
Thunder Dragon.
It's actually Thunder Dragon Chaos.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And how would you say you enjoyed the deck? Like, how did it do overall? I mean, obviously you got fourth place.
This deck I've been working on, or the variant that I've been working or trying to perfect, like for what I want, for about, I want to say about 6 months. It's been doing pretty good. It's got some control aspects to it, especially the sideboard. The only problem is the combo decks like Drytron and Virtual World. You can't really get around VFD with this. VFD is just like pretty much the end of it. So, you want me to go ahead and get in?
Sure.
Okay. So, for this deck profile, I run 3 Thunder Dragons.
Okay.
3 Thunder Dragon Dark. 3 Roar.
Okay.
2 Matrix. 1 Hawk. And 1 Duo. And I was playing Thunder Dragon Lord. The only problem with that was that it was too bricky. And the effects, while really good with Duo or, say, Titan on the field, were not really to the benefit of the deck itself.
Mm-hmm.
So,
what do you think about your ratio here?
So,
do you can any of these end up being bricks at any point?
Not. Well, only one that I actually think is brick really is Hawk. I mean, you kind of need something in the grave for it. This Matrix is not too bad. I mean, if anything, you can just normal summon it, turn it into a Link Karibo, and get at least another Thunder Dragon in the grave to start going off. Everything else, no, it works great. The one thing that I love about this card, though, like I was going to do 3 or 2 of this, but I'm sticking with 3 because of the fact that you can get back any of your Thunder Dragon stuff at, like, even Thunder Dragon Fusion, and people always forget about that. So it's just add it to hand and be like, okay, cool. Add it off of Thunder Dragon Fusion, get that Thunder Dragon Fusion back, and start all over.
All right, man.
That's the Thunder Dragon monster package.
Okay. How many cards do you run in total on your deck?
42. I was going to
Wow, that's actually really good.
Yeah, I had to make some adjustments. I wanted to run a 10-card danger package, but the hand draws and stuff that I did at home, it wasn't good.
Mm-hmm.
They ended up being too much of a brick. And the Chaos package is too good to take out.
Right.
So for the Chaos stuff, Chaos Valkyrie, I was questioning if I should be running this or not, but there was too many times where I had Wyvern Buster in my hand, and I needed to be able to discard a Dark to get into it.
Right.
So it was just like a redundancy that I needed. Plus, with the fact I play 2 Battery Man Solars, if I have it in hand, activate Solar, its effect goes off. Usually I'm going to be sending a Roar, and then you immediately can go into an Appaloosa within 6 summons. And then you can protect the rest of your turn and start going off from there. Really good. And then the other 2 Chaos cards I run is 1 Levineer and 1 Chaos Creator.
What would you say the pros and cons of these 2 would be?
So this one right here, I tried to run more than one, but the problem is it's hard enough sometimes to get a light and a dark in your grave, unless you start with Thunder Dragon, just the normal Thunder Dragon. So it's really something that you get off of when you're already winning. You're just like, oh, I need extra pops. I've used it to help clear my opponent's board, and I was able to pop 7 things in one turn because of it. This I like much more, but the only problem is his effect doesn't come up as much as you'd think. Especially since you're shuffling stuff back from your banish for the Thunder Dragons. His ability to get 3 banished cards shuffled back is really good, especially whenever you have an IP Masquerena and you need to, you have this in your hand, you banish 2 more cards, you get the IP Masquerena, and you start going off from there. It's really great for that. The amount of times I've actually won with that strat is crazy. But that's all. I wouldn't change any of these. If any of the baby Chaos Dragons came back to like maybe 2 or 3, like I know that OCG has this at 3, I'd probably be running 2 of these instead of the Valkyrie. Just because like being able to go into Striker Dragon and trigger its effect to get the other one is so much better than just having this.
Yeah.
So, that's all for the Chaos stuff. And then for my normal summons of the deck, 2 Batterman Solar, and then 3 Aloof Lupine. Aloof Lupine is MVP in this deck. The amount of times that I've been able to extend far past where I needed to off of drawing it and not having not normal summoned in this deck is crazy.
How many times did you see this during the tournament tonight?
A lot.
Because we had 4 rounds?
A lot.
Really?
Yes.
Would you say nearly every game?
At least once in every mat, or like every set. So, yeah. There's been multiple times where I've like had to ban, not right now, but like I've banishing this to get your other Thunder banished to trigger it off is fantastic. Like, so opening these 2 up in your hand is not a problem. And if anything, if you have like a Lure of Darkness and you need to go in for more cards to like extend plays or whatnot, you could always just hold both of those. Do it. If you don't get a dark, you just banish Aloof, and you still can go off of a combo with Batterman.
Very nice.
Yeah, I'd be probably running this as 3 along with this if Colossus was back at 1, which I really hope in the March it actually comes back.
It's never going to come off, man.
Man, you can hope. You can always hope.
You can always hope, but it just ain't going to happen. That card doesn't need to be a 1, doesn't need to be a 2. Like, that card needs to just stay away
There's
forever.
enough broken stuff in the meta right now.
It's the same thing with Dragoon. Dragoon needs to go.
Yeah, I would agree there.
Speaking of Dragoon, does this deck have a weakness against Dragoon?
Not really.
Really?
Not really, because I have an access code talker that I can go into and just kind of beat over it.
Okay.
It works out fairly well, actually.
Okay.
So the last monsters I run is I run a 2-2 split of Haunted Bell or Haunted Mansion, Joyous Spring, and I'm trying out Snow Rabbit.
Shout outs to the different arts and rarities
yeah,
here.
I wish I had the same arts and stuff. It kind of sucks, to be honest. But this hasn't come up yet. I put it in here because if I had it in hand, and I have the 3rd copy of each one of these in my side deck. This can actually pop, or being able to pop the VFD whenever you're playing against Virtual World on like the start of your turn. Mm-hmm. Whenever you activate the effect, even though it locks you down from doing stuff, you can still do some stuff with this deck. But getting it off the field is much more important because it's less monsters you got to deal with beating you in the face. If you can survive more turns with it, you can potentially outgrind. It's hard as heck to do, but you can do it.
Okay.
It's a pain. But those are the only hand traps that I run. And then now on to spells. I run 2 Thunder Dragon Fusions, 1 Gold Sark, 1 Instant Fusion, 3 Allure of Darkness, 3 Chaos Space, and I was trying out 3 Dark Ruler No More.
This is like incredible against really the entire meta. VFD.
Yeah, if
Vanity's
they don't
Ruler.
pop VFD on standby phase, then yes. That's mostly the reason why I have it in here. If I had the money, I'd be swapping it over to the Forbidden Droplets. I would be running that over this any day.
Man, I mean, Forbidden Droplets is good, but I mean, if they got like let's just say you only had 1 monster in hand, but they got 2 VFDs. I mean, I don't know. Yeah. I think there's situations where one is better than the other.
I'm more concerned about the single seeing a single VFD. That's really what I'm concerned about. That's why I would swap it out for Forbidden Droplets. I'm not made of money. But that's
I mean, it's up to like what, 120 a card now, something like that.
I'm waiting until it gets reprinted, probably next year somewhere.
Megaton.
Yeah, probably in Megaton. It's going to be expensive as heck there, too. Chaos Space is the only thing that I was messing around with for a while, really. Because Instant Fusion I put back in, if I can talk correctly. It's 1-me games. Being able to do this and then Instant Fusion going
you're not playing... I just realized you're not playing 3?
No, I'm only running 2. You find this enough as it is at 3 or 2. 3 would brick.
Okay.
Yeah, 3 would brick, and you only need it some of the time, and you could always search it. Instant Fusion has helped me win games, especially off the backs of 2 Titans, and then being able to turn into Gustav Max and then finish the game in main phase 2 is great. Chaos Space, I was running a smaller Chaos package before, but it's too good not to run at 3. Like, it's way too good not to run at 3.
It's just one of those cards. If you run it at 2, like, you better have a 3rd copy and just be, pulling my leg.
Oh yeah, no. I tried it. No, don't listen to people that say it's not good or you should only play 2. 3 is the best thing for that. That's gonna be it for the main deck.
Okay. You said 42 cards in total,
yes.
Right? That's amazing because I've seen like versions of this deck, maybe not specifically this deck, but maybe versions that are run at like 60 cards.
Yeah, the problem with those is like, yeah, they have a lot of 1-star or card starters and stuff, but I like the Thunder Dragon stuff because it specifically does something that like a lot of archetypes don't. Like I think Mutants is the only one that really messes with the Banish pile very much, and I just love that. I was one of those people that refused to get the deck until it wasn't meta. I don't like playing meta decks. It just a bad taste in my mouth.
I played meta, and then I went away from meta, and I just recently started playing meta again. I was like, you know what? I'm going to play Dragonlance because it's meta again.
No. So, extra deck. I'm running 2 Titans, and then the 1 Kaminari deck.
So this is your Instant Fusion target?
Yes, okay. Yes, it's great. The cool thing is, too, I love... So, I've seen variants that run 3 Thunder Dragon Titans. Mm-hmm. The only problem is you don't need 3. You recycle Thunder Dragon Titan if somebody destroys it with Thunder Dragon Fusion. Like, if anything, you just banish the fusion, you get yourself a roar, and then you immediately get back and cycle us back in. As long as you have 1 in the extra deck, you're fine. No problems. I wouldn't run it more.
I really wish our me and yours duel that we did forever ago would have been able to go up, man. That was a crazy duel.
That was interesting, to say the least.
Yeah.
One Best Dweller.
Best against Rytron right now?
Yeah, I don't get it out as often, but it is actually clutch in some matches. And a Gustav Max.
Now, is that 4 Titan, or do you actually run rank 10s? Or I guess...
No, that literally is just for Titan, because Instant Fusion and being able to... there was a turn where I had a Thunder Dragon, pitched it, or got 2 in the grave, had a Thunder Dragon Fusion in my hand, and an Instant Fusion, and then like another... I think it was the last Thunder Dragon. And then I normal summoned a Matrix, turned into a Link Karibo, got the first one out, then got the second one out based off of the Instant Fusion, smacked my opponent, and this is completely the second turn. Like, he didn't have anything on the field. Smacked him in the face with it, and then immediately turned around and turned into Gustav Max and won. This deck's scary whenever it goes off. Because it's like
that kind of sounds like a big brain play right there.
Yes, you
big think.
There's a lot of interesting things you can do with this. This deck kind of frays my brain sometimes. I run 1 Link Karibo, 1 Striker Dragon, 1 Verde Anaconda, Cross Sheep, IP, Phoenix, Nightmare, or Unicorn, then Draco Master of Tenny, an access code, and an Appaloosa. So some of these cards probably need explaining.
I do have one question. Why are you playing this?
That one question is, why wouldn't you not be playing that in Thunder Dragons with being able to use.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
One of those can literally start you off in a combo to get into Verde Anaconda. If you brick your hand real bad and you can just discard one of your Thunder Dragon cards to get one of those and immediately start going off with it, this helps a lot.
Okay.
The one thing too is this deck can get around Nibiru sometimes pretty easy.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you don't actually have to do 4 summons in this deck usually. Like all you need is like usually like 3 or 4, or no, yeah, 3. You can get 3 and then be fine. So that's the reason why I run that. People ask like, "Are you going to search for something?" I'm like, no, it's not activating. I have nothing to search for. So yeah, people are quick to jump like, "Oh God, I gotta ash that." Cross Sheep. There's a Cross Sheep I have a love-hate relationship with. I love this card, but I hate it as well. Hate it.
What's your reason for that, man?
Because there are times where I'm missing one material to go into Appaloosa because of negligence on my part or something whenever I have summoned the Titan onto it. And I was like, okay, I could get another monster. And I look at my hands like, oh, I used the effect of those other cards. Like, say if I used Striker Dragon and got into it and got the other dragon out of it. That's actually kind of the reason why I have this in here, because I want to be able to put something down.
So explain this card a little bit, because I haven't seen this card. Maybe some other people haven't.
So this is literally just to keep itself alive from battle, because it can't be destroyed by effect monsters. So that I can make access code Taco next turn.
Oh, wow, okay.
That's literally the only reason.
Most expensive card in your whole deck, probably.
Yeah, I got lucky with this. I got really lucky with this.
No.
I've traded off 3 pot of Extravs and a Link Cross before it got banned. So I made out like a bandit from that trade.
Oh, I remember you telling me that story. Okay, I got you.
This card is crazy
Just
good.
out there hustling.
Oh, yeah, I don't know how I managed that. I got lucky as heck. But yeah, no. Being able to make this on the backswing, like turn this and your Titan into it, or any other card that you'd summon off of your next turn. Usually like one of the like Chaos Creator or Duo, and making a new access code and just hitting your opponent in the face. Yeah. The IP stuff doesn't come up as much. Sometimes I do need to clear the board of like underneath this, because sometimes I'm kind of stupid and put cards underneath here before I can actually go into Titans. Like, okay, cool. Well, I can clear board there, get the arrows cleared out, and then I can start going off from there. Also, its protection effect is great, because after getting him out, if I have the materials to make him and him, these two turn in this. It may be only 2 materials, but cannot be destroyed by card effects.
Which is important, because that's how they killed my Appaloosa this game.
The cool thing too is that usually with Titan being the backup, I try to have another Thunder Dragon in hand to trigger off its effect to pop whatever is going to try to attack into this.
Mm-hmm.
So if I say use one of the triggers and like, oh, I have big enough guy to go into it, it's like, okay, well no, it's going to die anyways. I don't usually use its effect to link off on my Tone's turn. I have actually correction. I have done that before, and I have gone into an access code talker, and my opponent looked at me like, "Why? I can't do anything now." It's great, especially even if you get to the 4,000 attack or 4,300 attack with this guy. It can literally stop people from doing things. Unicorn is the only one that I was actually thinking about cutting. That and honestly, Verde Anaconda, because at this point, I don't use Verde Anaconda ever. Like, it's rare that I ever use this card. Usually I go into Cross Sheep or Masquerena because I have ways of getting the fusion spell without having to use him. Though, that being said, being able to trick my opponent into using it can be to my benefit. Because if he negates the activation of this, you can still use, if you have a second Thunder Dragon fusion in hand, you can still use its effect. Because it negates the activation. It came up once. And these 2 nightmare cards don't need explanations. They're just good. Cerberus is not very good in my opinion in this deck. You're already popping enough stuff with Titan. So.
In my opinion, the only reason Cerberus is good is if you're playing Nibiru and you get rid of that big ass token.
Yeah.
That's literally the only thing I've ever used it for in any of my decks.
See, I just use the... Yeah. I don't actually have Nibiru in this deck, so it doesn't really matter to me too much.
Solid 15 cards.
Yeah. And then for my side deck. The
I
side
don't
deck is,
like that laugh.
The side deck is interesting.
Is it bad?
No, it's not bad. So
is this you ran out of time?
No. I've been thinking about this for a while. But so the last
shout outs to different rarities again.
Yeah, dude.
Side deck,
not even joking. I had gotten 2 maximum gold, and literally one set had an Ash Blossom Joyous Spring of 1 variant and a Ghost Ogre. And then the other one had the opposite of what I got out of 2. So I don't know how I managed that. That was weird luck. Then, of course, you kind of have to have Lancia. Lancia is just too good.
This thing shuts down Virtual World right now.
You can actually play around it.
It can, but it's definitely difficult.
The card that sets it. This is something I had to check on because I had forgotten if you could or not. Ashing the card that sets the trap that starts popping stuff and shuffles stuff back from the banish. It's probably one of the best plays that I've done tonight because it does state that it can draw or special summon from deck. So as long as it states one of the criteria, ashing it's like no problem.
Okay,
it's great. Then I run 2 Dankosekos, Harpy's Feather Duster. I thought about taking this out and just running another one of these because these are fun. These are really fun because you can fetch it off of Thunder Dragon Fusion because it's Thunder.
Oh wow, I just seen that. That's awesome.
And another card I'm actually going to be trying out is Thunder King Ryo if I can get some because it's a Thunder. So instead of running Droll, I'd much rather use that because then it can pop stuff too. It can just like, aha, you can't do anything from this normal summon. Feather Duster never comes in. And that's why I'm thinking about taking it out and putting another one here. I'm probably going to do that because I looked at this as like, okay, well, I need to have stuff that literally shuts down some decks. This shuts down back row. They have to figure out a way around it. Especially depending on the variant of back row. Because there has been a time where Chickboo and this have saved my butt. It does not matter if you set this and have this on the field.
I'm just going to go out and say right now, I'm really glad I didn't play against you tonight because this card, it murders my deck.
Literally going, if I lose the first game, that's coming in. Or game 2 and 3, it's going to stay in because I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm going to shut down you from summoning anything else. And this deck can play around it like a piece of cake. Literally, almost everything in the extra deck and most of the stuff in this the main deck you can kind of maneuver around it. It's easy. Plus, you're not summoning. You don't need to summon very many thunders. You don't. And plus, Aloof is beast, so you don't have to worry about it there too. It can lock you down from games though, because Duo. I needed a Duo to finish out a game today. Luckily, he didn't pull anything that was too obscure to keep me from winning, but it did stop me from killing somebody in a turn. It sucks, but it's a necessary evil. And then I was trying Dimensional Barrier. I have yet to play this.
It's okay.
I'm probably going to put Nibiru
like with Drytron, it's okay. You can call Ritual, but then okay, well I'm just going to go ahead and link into Herald of Mirage Lights, and then just kind of go off from there.
Yeah, it's
pretty
better
good.
Against.
What was your inspiration for wanting to play? I know you've been playing this for a while, but what was your inspiration for it?
So it's more or less like there's 4 flex spots usually in this side deck that has been like consistent. I had Drolls in there before, but I hate Droll. I do not like Droll.
Why?
It's just
it's so good.
It's not a light or a dark, and it doesn't do anything.
I mean, sure, it could be a brick, but you could just keep it in your hand or use it for something to discard.
I'd much rather have Thunder King Ryo, to be honest. And that's probably what I'm going to replace it here with. Because being able to normal summon and say straight up, hey, you can't do anything next turn is great. Especially if I can get it situated to where I have a Thunder Dragon Titan backing it up. Cool. You're not going to draw anything in Drytron, and I'm going to have something backing it up, so if you actually try to get over it, good luck. So, and it's got a same effect, a vector of...
Yeah, what?
Yeah, it's a Thunder Monster too, so you can fetch it.
Oh, it is, yeah.
And it's got the same thing with this. This effect does not technically activate. It's just a basic effect. It's like, oh, hey, you can't do this. Thunder King Ryo has a similar thing. That's the reason why I don't like Droll. It doesn't really mesh well with this deck.
Whenever you use this effect to negate, that you can pop off with.
Yeah, and you can clear boards with it too. So it's like double whammy there. So it's great. That's literally it. Yeah, this deck is great. It's pissed me off.
Chaos Under Dragon best deck?
No. I hope that this Banlist makes it to where I don't have to deal with Virtual World or Tritron. I'm
going to be posting a video probably here pretty soon. Thinking the first week of March on my Banlist predictions, but I'll just give everybody that's watching a little hint on what I think. VFD, a certain Guard Dragon, and a certain card that ends in Brax.
Yeah,
that's your hint, but we'll go more into that and do a different video.
Yeah.
Now that's more of what I think should be banned, but what they will be banned, Konami still surprises me.
VFD probably will not make it past this ban list.
I don't think so. The only reason that it made past the previous ban list was because Virtual World was so new. It's the same thing with Drytron. I don't think they're going to do anything to Ben 10, even though that card was just built horribly wrong. That card is degenerate.
Oh yeah.
But if they hit Ben 10, it's still going to be a decent deck.
Yeah, at least limit to the one, and then do something about Eva. It's got crazy consistency for that deck. That's stupid. Yeah. But that's it. This deck is great.
Hell yeah. Well, I appreciate the deck profile, man. If you guys liked today's video, be sure to smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. And yeah, appreciate you, sir. And everybody at home, have a great day.